Book First Flight, poem The Tale of Custard the Dragon. The Tale of Custard the Dragon is written by famous writer Ogden Nash. Now, this poem is written in the style of a ballad. A ballad is a song or a poem that tells a story. You must be familiar with ballads that narrate tales of courage or heroism. This poem is a humorous ballad very close to parody. Parody is humorous imitation, जिसमें imitate करते हैं. So it's a ballad which is like a parody. Read it aloud, paying attention to the rhythm. Now the main characters in the poem is a black cat. There is a one girl, Belinda, and she has the black cat as her pet, whose name is Ink. Then there is a grey mouse, its name is Blink. A yellow dog, whose name is Custard. And finally there is a dragon, Belinda's pet, and its name is Custard. So we will see what the poem is. First of all, let us talk about the theme of the poem. The tale of Custard the Dragon conveys the idea that all those who very frequently and who boast very loudly, they boast about themselves, they turn to be very, very much cowards in the testing times. When the time comes, the people जो सबसे ज़्यादा चिल्लाकर बोलते हैं, those who boast about themselves, they turn to be cowards. And those who are very humble and seemingly very cowards, they prove to be really brave. And in this poem, Belinda and her pets, they live in a house, and her pets like the kitten, the mouse and the dog, they always profess, they always boast that they're very, very brave. And they laugh at Custard the dragon. They always laugh at it of being coward. But in the testing times, when some pirate, some thieves come into their house, it is Custard only which proves to be very brave, and he faces the pirate very, very boldly, and he eats him up. So this is the main theme of the poem कि जो बोलते हैं वो काम नहीं आते. So we see the poem. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and little grey mouse, and little yellow dog and little red wagon, and Realio, Trulio, little pet dragon. Belinda, the main girl, she lived in her little white house with the little black kitten and a little grey mouse, little yellow dog and little red wagon. Wagon means dragon. And Realio, Trulio, little pet dragon. It was a real and true pet dragon. Now see the rhyme scheme of the poem. See the last word house and mouse are rhyming. So it is A. Mouse is also A. Wagon sound is different. B. Dragon is B. So the rhyme scheme of the stanza is A, B, B. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse, she called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. The name of the little black kitten was Ink, the little grey mouse was called by her Blink, the little dog, she called it was sharp, was very, very sharp, and she called it Mustard, and the coward and the dragon was very, very coward, वो बड़ा डरपोक था, and she called him Custard. Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on top of him and scales underneath, mouth like a fireplace chimney for a nose, and Realio, Trulio daggers on his toes. Now this Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth. His teeth were very, very big, and spikes on top of him, and they were sharp nails like daggers. उसके टॉप के ऊपर नेल्स की जैसे कीले होती हैं इस तरह के डैगर्स टाइप के. डैगर इज अ शार्प नाइफ, शॉर्ट नाइफ एक्चुअली, नॉट शार्प, शॉर्ट नाइफ विथ पॉइंटेड एंड एजेड ब्लेड, जो बहुत शार्प होता है उसे डैगर कहते हैं. छोटा सा चाकू होता है. तो उसके जो टॉप था उसकी बॉडी पे वो नेल की तरह डैगर्स थे, एंड स्केल्स अंडरनीथ, एंड दे वर थिन प्लेट्स ऑफ हार्ड फ्लैश के स्केल्स थे बीनीथ उसकी बॉडी के नीचे. His mouth was like a fireplace, and he always breathed fire. मुंह उसका बिल्कुल ऐसा था जैसे fireplace. When he opened his mouth, the fire came out. Chimney for a nose. Nose was like a chimney. उसमें से धुआं निकलता था. And Realio, Trulio daggers on his toes. And there were daggers like spikes on his toes also. Belinda was as brave as barrel full of bears. Now Belinda was very, very brave. She was as brave as barrel. Barrel means big vessel, big box full of bears. Ink and Blink chased lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice safe cage. So Belinda was very brave. She was as brave as box full of bears. Ink and Blink chased lions down, and Ink and Blink, they were also very very brave. They followed the lions down the stairs. वो इतने बहादुर थे. They were so brave that they could even turn out the lions from the stairs only. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, and Mustard, the dog, was as brave as a tiger in a rage, in anger. But Custard, he always cried for a nice, safe cage. Custard was very coward. He always wanted to be safe in his cage. Belinda tickled him, she tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon at the realio, trulio, cowardly dragon. Belinda tickled him. Tickled means made fun of him, made fun of the Custard. She tickled him unmercifully. She tickled him, she made fun of him very unkindly. Without any kindness, she made fun of him. Ink and Blink and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. And Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely, laughingly, they called him a hero. Percival means a hero. And they all sat laughing in the little red wagon. Making fun of him at the realio, trulio, cowardly dragon. They all made fun of the dragon. Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said weak, which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age, when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Belinda giggled, she laughed and laughed till she shook the house, and Blink called him coward. Weak means coward, which is giggling for a mouse. And Blink giggled and giggled like a mouse and called him coward. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age. Ink and Mustard, they both rudely insulted him by asking his age. When Custard cried for a nice safe cage. And the Custard, he cried for a nice safe cage. Suddenly, they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Meowich, cried Ink, and ooh, cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. Suddenly, they heard a very nasty, very unpleasant sound, and Mustard growled. Now the Mustard, the dog, by sensing the trouble, he sensed that some trouble is there, he growled. He shouted in angry manner, and they all looked around. Meowich, cried Ink, and the Ink cried meow, and ooh, cried Belinda, and Belinda also cried in horror, in fear. For there was a pirate climbing in the window. For they saw a pirate, a sea robber, climbing into their house through the window. Window means window.